UTEP wants to flip the script. The Panthers want win number 20 and the inside track to the 2 seed. Final weekend of the regular season underway in Miami. The point guard, Zita, who has been phenomenal for UTEP. That's what Keith Adams does. First shot, ASINDE, properly defended. She rushed that. Liv Trice to Prenger, who draws 2. And that's what ASINDE can do defensively.
Yes, she almost did a little Euro step on that pass, but you saw all 5 Miners on the glass, and that's what they need to do, is limit the Panthers to that one-shot opportunity.
Panthers crash, second chance here for UTEP. Vidrova inside, gets the kind roll. Opening points belong to the Miners.
Such good to see Vidrova on the scoreboard early and often. That's always going to take a little bit of pressure off of ASINDE, who we know the Panthers are going to key in on.
Luisa Vidrova playing the best basketball of her UTEP career. She's had double-digit points her last 3 games and is coming off 15 against Liberty. Tensaye off back iron. Second chance earned by ASINDE. ASINDE hits the Jets and draws 2 free throws.
You saw how she put that dribble on the floor and literally exploded by the defense, and that's what she is so good at. But that's hard to defend no matter how quick you are, because ASINDE, that quick first step, but also she's got the length to her, and you can see that there. She's able to split 2 defenders and get to the free throw line. She's the top free throw shooter in Conference USA with attempts, so she is always looking to try to get to the hoop and then get those easy looks from the free throw line.
A national leader in free throws attempted. Jane ASINDE has a game plan every single possession and does a really nice job of executing it here. 2 for 2 to open her day.
And Corey, back when I used to play, that was always one of the keys, was to try to get to the free throw line. Those are called free points and free throws for a reason. It also means that you are attacking. You're going to be the aggressor trying to get to the hoop. And that's what you want to see in ASINDE. She has started to master that as she has gone through her career with the Miners.
Her defense is outstanding as well. She's limited Prenger to 0 for her first 2. Both these teams pride themselves on getting to the line, being physical. And that means this is going to be a bully ball type game both ways. Beoso, first to the floor, lost it. And it does wind up with the Miners. Great presence of mind there by Mari Petrie.
You can feel the intensity here on the court. It's a really great pace of a game. Playing great defense, but also excellent defensive rebounds, which has helped both teams get up and down the court. And there you see a steal by Trice.
Read it. Olivia Trice. Time and space denied. Vidrova's contest was enough. And here comes Petrie the other way. Lid on the rim for the Panthers. Petrie hits.
Huge start here in the first quarter by the Miners. They're not known for being a 3-point shooting team. So when Petrie can get on the board like that, on the scoreboard, that's a big, big sign for UTEP.
Petrie is consistently a thorn in the Panthers' paw. Set a couple different highs when these two met up in round 1, including field goals attempted. She feels free and loose against this defense.
Another great jumper there in the middle of the lane for the Miners. Now, this is an important possession here for the Panthers. And one thing I've noticed, Corey, is UTEP is known for switching up their defense. They'll start man-to-man, then they'll go to 2-3 zone. They'll want a little run, a little 1-3-1. And you always have to be on your game to be able to attack, and that's exactly what Tae does. And now a defensive transition. UTEP again from the 3-point line, but no good this time.
Tensaye has been so good from downtown. 47% from 3 over the course of her last 6 games. That's a shot UTEP's fine with. That's a shot that FIU is fine with. Easy for Henderson.
Excellent passing there by the Panthers to be able to find Henderson underneath the board. She's so good whenever she's in the paint and can finish those kinds of shots. Coming off of another great game for her.
Kalia Henderson starting to find her form at the right time for the Panthers. Right hand doesn't stay for Petrie. Beoso nearly lost it. Trice. Long board Hayes. High-low, Prenger converts.
Tremendous high-low and pass right there. You can't script up a better pass than what Henderson was able to get into Prenger and finish with her left hand.
Prenger scoring a little bit more as of late for FIU. Trice can aid that cause with a steal. Trice, got it.
Ooh, look at that ball handling. That was a little clinic by Trice.
FIU couldn't buy a bucket in the first few minutes, and now all of a sudden they have 8 in a row.
And throughout this season, and especially in Conference USA, what we've been able to see, Corey, is that FIU can go on runs. Every player that comes in for the Panthers can fill it up, average 18, 20 points on any given night, and that's what they're able to do. So they've found themselves sometimes behind, but in short order, they can get some points on the board. First day, you're playing so many games back to back. Once in a while, teams do think it's an advantage because you get the jitters out being at a conference tournament, but always the higher the seed, the better chances you have of getting the victories. And it's such a big deal because there's a lot of postseason opportunities on the line, Corey. I mean, really, you're looking at a FIU team with 19 wins and a possibility of getting to the WNIT, which would be huge success for Coach Brooks Wiley and the Panthers.
I think the middle of Conference USA is tighter than it's ever been. That's reflected in that big tie there, right in the heart of the standings. So once we get deep into the tournament in Huntsville, I don't think those seedings will mean too much, but they certainly do at the start. And the most important part of it, as we go the other way, is that resume.
And I know we talked about this, and we've looked, anytime we pull up Conference USA standings, it's like so many different people have jumbled up, you know? And in this conference, you're playing a home and an away series. So you see each team twice. And then by the time you get to that conference tournament in Huntsville, you're looking at the third time you're going to see a team. And look at that backdoor cut. Huge pass there by Tay Hayes to Trice. And those are the kind of plays you want to see in that kind of tournament, Corey.
The off-ball movement for the Panthers the last minute and a half has been really good. How about some on-ball movement? Can't stop that from ASINDE.
That's just a sweep below your knees, one dribble, and explode to the rim. And ASINDE can do that in her sleep.
Explode, the right word for her, as Prenger answers.
A couple of excellent post-entry passes by the Panthers, really getting Prenger some nice looks around the rim.
Prenger's gone double-digit scoring in 4 of her last 5 games. Had 6 in the win against Western Kentucky, but was rebounding more than scoring in that one. She's really upped her play in the absence of a couple of key Panthers here down the stretch. Baseline jumper does not stay. Good job by Prenger to create some space. Kone's opening salvo is straight cash.
She is so good at taking that left foot, jabbing into for the three-point line and pulling back and able to shoot that down with her left hand. And she's excited. Big-time shot there by Kone.
Double-double a couple of games ago against Jack State. ASINDE goes back to the free throw line.
Well, if you heard us say it once, we might say it a few times in this game about getting ASINDE that mid-range ball around the 15-foot line. But here's that first. Let's talk about that 3 by Kone. Again, great skip pass by the Panthers, able to convert in transition. And then ASINDE, on the other hand, gets that ball around the 15-foot line and can go left, can go right, one dribble, and she's looking at the rim. She has been trained, Corey, to not put that ball on the floor too many times.
Right.
It's 1 or 2 dribbles, and it's going to be a shot.
Extremely familiar with what Coach Adams wants her to do. The two of them together at Wichita State. Etha Adams returns to the UTEP program where she's the winningest all-time coach. ASINDE comes with. No foul that time. And the Panthers push pace. Beoso! That was nearly perfect. Kone takes it right back. Fifth turnover for UTEP. Up against just 1 for the Panthers. Definitely the early storyline in this first quarter. Well, make it 2. ASINDE out in front. You ain't stopping it.
And that was a excellent defensive possession by UTEP. They were playing that 2-3 zone in that one, and ASINDE able to read the cross-court pass and get that open look for the Miners.
Rodriguez Camacho looking for contact that doesn't come. Jane ASINDE, a Conference USA All Preseason selection. I think that one will wind up being right. She's been awesome. Powell goes high-low to Petrie. It's a sweet little behind-the-back pass to keep everything rolling. Blocked by Kone.
I just love watching Kone play defense. She is excellent at getting positioning and reading when the ball is going to be taken into the rim, and she literally volleyball spikes it almost every time. She's so fun to watch on defense. Excellent positioning.
One of the best blockers in Conference USA adds another. Just 4 to go on the shot clock. It's Petrie. Lauren Stewart clears the board. Playing more and more, the freshman Lauren Stewart. Kone goes down, we go the other way. Lauren scored back-to-back. Didn't play a lot early. Up in that scoring game.
And here you see that defensive possession where you're reading out in the lane, and that's what she's so good at. She just has a knack for the ball, and let's not forget about her wingspan. She stands at 6'2", but I think her wingspan is closer to 6'4" or 6'5", and she's able to slice through that passing lane and finish on the other end for the Miners. And she'll take a seat now, get a nice breather after her work here in the first quarter.
Powell tossing it back to Stanton. There's going to be a lot of nerves. Beyonce Powell back in her hometown from Miami, Florida. Went to high school a little north of here in Miramar, up at Everglades High School. So a return for UTEP's number 4, Powell. Didn't play against Liberty, but looks to be getting extended time today with Wilson out. Inside, and one for Henderson.
Well, that play got everyone fired up. Look at executing well on the offensive end, driving against the zone, and dropping it off to her teammate, who, again, Henderson has just such an awesome basketball IQ and finds herself in excellent positioning around the rim and is able to get to the free throw line.
That feels like the biggest difference between the first few minutes where FIU couldn't score and right now they're up by 5. Their ball movement and their off-ball movement has been really good.
And all of the Panther players can put the ball on the floor and create for themselves or create for a teammate. And that's really dangerous and something you want to have leading into a March Conference tournament.
Kone got a piece, so Sal's drive will keep it with UTEP. Aya Kone has been a humongous addition since day one for this FIU program. As a big part of their growth as Petrie hits what could be UTEP's final shot of the first.
That's a tough shot. Tough finish for the Miners.
Hayes has Trice. And that's how this first quarter comes to an end. Both teams throwing big punches and finding their runs. FIU using that 8-0 surge at about the midway.
Main factors, they were like the sixth man in the stands. And all of our team used to yell, yeah, band. It was like this relationship you had because they would help give you energy when you didn't have it. And so really incredible to see that kind of camaraderie between marching band and the team, and also a well-deserved retirement. But, you know, you never know how many points on the board they actually always helped with, or taking them off on those free throws.
Right. But is the quantifiable home court advantage is one of those things, though, as college sports get more and more professional. It is a tie to an important time. Maya Kone, 2+1.
What's really working, Corey, for the Panthers is this is their 14th point in the paint, and they are getting close looks. That means high percentage and getting the baskets off the dribble. They also have 6 assists so far, even in that first quarter, which means they're driving, kicking, driving, getting able to get some really excellent looks around the rim.
UTEP scored the first 9 points of this game. Since then, it's been all blue and gold. That will aid the cause, though. Miners needed it in a big way from Stanton.
Tough little rainbow jumper on the baseline there, and Tay Hayes with the hesitation.
Ball remains here. Aaliyah Stanton, just another in a long line of Keitha Adams point guards who play a lot and play early. That's what she does. A couple of the ones she's found in the past, Hughes and McKinney, now on staff at UTEP. It is a point guard-led program. Panthers being led by the post player, Prenger.
Hayes has been outstanding, taking that ball out of the basket and getting easy looks. Again, they're just being able to cut right behind the backs of the Miners and get some really high percentage shots at the hoop. And now it's a 4-on-3 pass break for the Panthers.
Great read by Kone. She winds up with it in the corner. Panthers will hold on. You can see Stanton just knock down a chair and nothing more. Both these teams missing huge pieces. Wilson and Tack for UTEP, Torres, and Yoakum for FIU. Trice triples.
Well, one of the keys to the game, Corey, I was looking at the stat sheet before we came in, was how important Trice's game is to the Panthers. During those 2 losses, she scored 0 points in one, 4 points in another, and then exploded against Western Kentucky for 18. And they really need her to get points on the board, because what she can do, like you just saw, is shoot that long ball, and that's going to expand defense. And you're going to be able to see this right here. Against a zone, she's able to stretch the zone out and put points on the board. She's going to be crucial to the Panther team going into Huntsville.
Hayes, tough shot. Timeout called by UTEP. Oh.
To start, but she is such a dynamic player, and she's 3-dimensional on offense, where she can hit that 3, she can hit the mid-range jumper, and then she can take it off the dribble. And she's so critical to the Panthers' offense and what they're going to be able to accomplish here in March, Corey.
Having her best year from downtown as a Panther, upping that shooting percentage by about 10%. It has been a massive difference for this FIU attack. She wants another. Not this time, but Kone helps. Kone, bully ball underneath.
Flying through for that rebound, offensive rebound and finish.
Took the shoulder to ASINDE, still had the answer. Tensaye can't convert, second chance here for UTEP. Vidrova, front iron. And a foul on the backside here as Prenger gets it up top.
Well, you'll see Maya, she's on the 3-point line, but crashes the boards, skies for that rebound, and is able to finish. When you're a coach, you just love watching those kinds of plays, because that's what you harp on in practice nonstop, is getting the offensive rebounds. Guess what? You get another shot at the rim, and she is tremendous at that. In those long arms, she's able to corral the ball down. Kone has been such a spark and doing an amazing job on the offensive glass for the Panthers.
This is what our officials are taking a look at. Anytime there is contact up near the head, it's going to be reviewed. So it is right now a common foul on ASINDE, and they're looking to see if there's anything extra, and it will just be a common foul. Good quick review, but you always have to check, especially with the emphasis on head.
You always have to check, and it didn't look intentional by any means. I think that's what the refs saw as well, just both hustle plays, and got a little elbow to the nose. But Prenger, she's so tough. She doesn't want any timeout, but look what it's allowed the Miners to do is set up in a 1-3-1 defense, and I was just going to say they cause a lot of turnovers when they switch it up into that 1-3-1 trap because ASINDE, the tallest and longest player for the Miners, is on the top of the key, and it's really hard to pass and look around those long arms.
Now, if you're FIU, how do you adjust facing a 1-3-1?
Anytime you can pass over the top or skip the ball is one, but you never want to get the ball in the corners. That's where they're going to trap the most. And trying to get the ball anytime you can attack into the middle because they're always looking to trap. And this team, Coach Adams has them extremely disciplined on that 1-3-1 and being able to trap and also cut through the passing lanes.
Foul on Prenger. So Prenger and ASINDE both battling. That's the second foul on Courtney Prenger. This was when she was on the receiving end of the foul. It looks like ASINDE just stepping through.
Well, and you said it in the open about the physicality that was going to happen here tonight. And, it really has. Anytime there's been drives to the rim, you saw Prenger get a little bit. She's going to take a seat now. But it's March Madness, baby. I mean, we got to go for it. Every play counts, even as you're getting ready to get into the CUSA Championship Tournament coming up.
FIU looking to lock up a top 2 seed. UTEP hoping to avoid a day 1 game. Three a bit too strong. Beoso has done a great job rebounding lately. Sees Petrie go up with the right hand. Will a third chance come for UTEP? Not quite. Whistles on Petrie.
Even though she came up with that foul, I love to see her aggressiveness. She's really put on quite a show here in the first half, and now she'll take a little breather. But already 7 points, 5 rebounds. Really been a bright spot for the Miners.
She's not a player that's ever going to be intimidated. Last year, she only played 2 games for the Miners and still had a 24-point game.
There's that skip pass against the zone.
Good look, doesn't fall. But you value the process on a chance like that.
And you know they practiced that this week.
ASINDE gives it right back.
Watching a lot of game film on ASINDE, that is one thing. She's sometimes just a little too quick for herself.
Sure.
And gets called for those travels, picking up her pivot foot before she can actually get to the basket.
In an ideal world, she's making that catch more at the free throw line, right?
Yes, yes. You see she almost gets her hand on it there. She can move side to side so well, cutting through the defense.
Turnovers exchanged. Soriano Rodriguez Camacho back on for FIU. She will come in relieving Beoso. Panthers have their largest lead because UTEP doesn't have a point in 3 minutes. This is where they lean on ASINDE. ASINDE got Kone in the air.
Now that was a pro move type of pump fake right there to be able to read the defense. She had 2 Panthers flying at her, but again, able to finish through the contact.
Winds up with Rodriguez Camacho, who gets lost in the sauce. Wasn't planned for. It turned into the unintentional skip pass, and she had a pretty good look.
Well, let's take a look at this here. She starts on the 3-point line, drives to her right, does a little up and under, and gets 2 Panther players in the air to be able to finish.
Down here in Miami, we call that a Dwayne Wade when the pump fake gets 2 in the air at the same time. Trice's contest and an easy board for Rodriguez Camacho.
Corey, that's something I didn't know that you called a Dwayne Wade.
Oh, yeah. Invented the pump fake, if you ask anyone from down here.
And that's called the Maya Kone right there here for the Panthers. That's also how you break down a zone, is just make shots.
Shoot right over the top of it, especially from 3. It'll do the job. ASINDE answering potentially 3 of her own.
And if it works once, you go back to it. She is so quick with that ball fake and able to step through and get the ball up on the rim before anybody even knows what's happening. Move a little pass fake, pump fake, step through and finish. any young athletes out there watching and wanting to be a better basketball player, those kinds of dribble moves towards the rim that you're watching ASINDE accomplish is something you want to practice. So the 1 to 2 quick dribbles up and under and finish with your left, finish with your right, and also get to the free throw line.
Textbook stuff right now from ASINDE. Her squad trying to answer a 12-point deficit. Trice over the rainbow. And a step out of bounds. I've seen a few of these where it's a chaotic couple of minutes, a testament to the length that both teams have.
And one of the things I'm seeing for is this is where they're really missing for the Miners are missing Aaron Wilson and the kind of, senior leadership that she's able to bring. She's also a 10-point scorer, 9 rebounds. They call her Aaron Windex Wilson. Yeah. So they've really had to step up in other ways. UTEP has, and they're still hanging in here with the Panthers, but it's hard when you're getting some good looks from Kone and Trice and Hayes off the dribble. Eileen
Marquez, who just came into this game, clears an opening rebound for her day. Trice runs into ASINDE, jump ball, Arrow keeps it here. ASINDE continuing to produce, this time wins her team the possession arrow going forward. Brief officials conversation here. I think as it regards the possession arrow and which way it's facing. Right now, we think it should stay here, and that was the initial call. That's the way it's facing. But that, I imagine, is the conversation. Actually, I think it's the shot clock. How much is left? And that's what they're going to go to video review to find out. It is indeed the shot clock. Right now it reads 11 seconds. Thumbs up all around. So 11 seconds. Ball stays here. FIU goes to work up 12.
They're just double checking, making sure.
Hey, every possession counts this time of year.
And just like that last second shot against Western Kentucky, every second on that shot clock and the game clock counts.
So the Panthers still have plenty of time to work. Hayes won't use it. She doesn't need it.
Ooh, what a read that was by Hayes. A little shimmy to the left, stop and pop. Read the space perfectly and able to knock down that 8-foot jumper.
Zeta blocked by Trice. The block party starting in Miami.
That's one of the things the Panthers do so well defensively is they move in like coordinated action, and you're gonna. Oh well, first let's look at Tay Hayes. A little jab and stop and pop, and then with the defense, they're always in help. They're always helping out their teammate, and I know when I used to play, that was always such a fun way to play basketball, and when you have that team chemistry and camaraderie, because you know someone has your back if you get beaten off the dribble. And anytime we've watched the Panthers here in Conference USA, they move in tandem, and they're always helping each other. It's a testament to what Coach Brooks Wiley has been able to implement offensively, defensively, and through the culture of this program.
That cohesion really came together, as you mentioned, in Conference USA play. They were challenged early on in the non-conference schedule, and it has all paid off right now with FIU playing some incredible basketball. Despite a couple of tough results on the road, this FIU team taking that as a wake-up call, and they are all the way up right now. Marquez, kaboom!
You were just saying about the Panthers, but that's what it looks like. And then the answer by ASINDE, she can also stop and pop from the three-point line, not just always off the dribble. But the Panthers have such good team chemistry.
Yeah.
You know, we talked to Coach Brooks Wiley, and not one of the Panthers are in the top 10 of scoring, but everyone plays as a unit, and they all play so well together that they can fill it up, just like Trice with another answer. That's 3 triples back to back to back here at the Ocean Bank Convocation Center.
Trice goes up to 10, but do not ignore the pass that set it up. Working it around the perimeter with great pace. ASINDE lost it. Panthers pushing their largest lead right before halftime. Hayes, everything is blue and gold in Miami. Timeout. On the doorstep of a top 2 seed in this league.
I mean, just even in this half court, we've been able to witness how many weapons they have offensively. And so that makes everything work on the offensive end to get points on the board, and defensively, how much they communicate and talk as a unit. So, you know, again, playing their best basketball in March when it counts the most.
Lauren Stewart, right place, right time. She comes up with the steal. That about sums it up right now for FIU. Hayes. Not a bad look. Long rebound finds Trice. Marquez is fouled. 2 free throws for Eileen Marquez.
Marquez getting some really phenomenal minutes here for the Panthers. Corey mentioned it, but we talked a little bit about Yoakum and Torres, who both went down with knee injuries earlier this season. And we're talking that was 16 points and almost 10 rebounds that are sitting on the FIU bench. And all these other players like Marquez have really stepped up and impacted the game anytime they've stepped on the court.
Eileen did not play against Western Kentucky, but has already shown the ability to shoot in this gym. 4 threes right out of the gate to begin her Panther career. ASINDE not to be left behind.
ASINDE, such a heads-up play. There, she read the defense. You know, Lauren Stewart is a freshman for FIU, and ASINDE knew that she had the quickness to beat her off the dribble and then get to the free throw line. That's just a tough matchup for Lauren Stewart to be able to slow her down as a freshman, and also with the quickness and explosiveness of ASINDE.
It is tough to replicate a player that moves like Jane ASINDE. There's really no way to prepare for it in practice. A one-of-one type athlete in Conference USA. Final 80 seconds. Panthers going to the break with a lead. Only question is, how big is it? Stewart, step back. Second chance. Not coming. A good job by Henderson to create a little bit of chaos.
That's her second hustle play in a row to be able to give the team 2 offensive rebounds there and extra looks at the offensive end. And that's a senior leader that you see in Henderson making that hustle play.
Woo. Spin left, spin right, right hand 2.
Hayes 1-on-1. Tay Hayes is absolutely phenomenal off the dribble. And her confidence has gotten bigger and better with each game on the offensive end. Usually she's known for her defensive prowess, but wow, she's doing it on both ends of the court.
She's just grown so much offensively here, particularly in the last month. That's a tough shot no matter how you slice it, and it doesn't matter right now for FIU period and Hayes specifically. UTEP can go a little 2 for 1 here. Right hand, and that's off ASINDE. For all the good FIU is getting, there are some bad beats on the board for UTEP.
Coach Brooks Wiley is going to be happy about these box outs, but the Miners are still really trying to attack that offensive rebound end.
FIU +4 on the boards. Henderson gets the roll. I think
I love that play call, just getting Henderson the ball after she had hustled so much on the offensive end. And you know she can take it one-on-one. She gets her back to the basket at 15 and able to spin and go.
Tensai, floater, too strong. FIU with a 50-burger at halftime.
Heard the ball, number 0 here for the Miners. And also, Vinsaye went 0 for 4 in that first half, and she's somebody that they need to count on for some points. So that will be important for UTEP to have a couple other contributions to make this a game. Otherwise, the Panthers will close in on ASINDE and start double teaming her.
I think Yvonne Tensai is exactly the person who needs to assist ASINDE. Though she can certainly do quite a bit herself. She shoots too.
Well, and she certainly can get to the rim before that double team can get there. I cannot get over how quick she is with her first step. It is incredible to witness.
So FIU has weathered it well, even though they're going against probably a top 2 front court player in this league. FIU outscored UTEP in the paint 22-12 in that first, and a lot of it is coming from guards off passes, not old school post moves.
They've been able to attack that zone, get in there, make an extra pass, and that's been huge for them. And you know, Henderson's one of the best players in the league for finding the open spaces, and that's how she's been able to get quite a number of her points for the Panthers.
She's done a lot of the little things, particularly lately. Look at the rebound numbers. They're way up in the last 4 games for Kalia Henderson. She's gone about the full 40 the last couple of games. Her and Trice both contributing in ways on and off the stat sheet to have FIU closing in on win number 20. ASINDE rising up.
Ooh, what a pass. That was a nice move from the Miners. Zita, she has an incredible shake and bake first step and able to keep her head up and find ASINDE for the open lay-in.
The true point guard and quickest player on the roster, according to Coach Adams, who was going to bring her to Wichita before they both relocated to the Sun City. Beoso, everything but the finish. Trice to Beoso right back. Beoso, a top 3 stealer on one of the most prolific pickpocketing teams in Conference USA. Hayes was wide open. UTEP catches a break. Similar start to half 2 as we saw in half 1. UTEP finds their breakthrough thanks to Vedrova.
Another tremendous pass, and that was a very difficult catch by Vedrova on that 2-on-1 fast break.
Trice blocked by ASINDE.
Well, the Miners came out of halftime hot, and that was with Zita with the one-on-one drive, finding her teammates. She leads UTEP in assists, and you see it right there. Full court vision to be able to hit her teammate in stride and be able to finish with the left hand. A couple of nice plays for the Miners out of halftime.
Tough shot by Henderson, and ASINDE clears. Zita using that quickness for an easy 2.
She just dribbled around everyone. She's been fun to watch. She has really kind of taken the team on her back, and that's what we mentioned, is that other players were going to have to step up for UTEP besides just ASINDE to keep this one close.
ASINDE's contest makes the difference there. Petrie last touched it. Delma's not really designed to be a scorer in this system. She is that true point guard, but with the absence of Wilson, and even as of late, she's just done a really, really nice job. At 16 points against Jacksonville State. They need her. She's stepping up now in half 2.
And they have her listed at 5'8", but she looks a little tinier than that with that quickness. But she's able to use her ball handling skills and fresh off the dribble. And talk about ball handling skills. Tay Hayes with another take, and she gets the friendly roll.
13 for Tay Hayes, an FIU high, and trails only ASINDE in the game, who already has 20. Beoso taking it herself and finishing. Had Trice, but Angena's, no, I got it.
She has that nice look away, and you can read her eyes, and she's able to finish. Fun little move there that is in her repertoire.
Tanasia Hayes has some of the best in-conference steals numbers anywhere in this league, but she couldn't quite finish on the other side. Explosive take, but Kone's contest makes the difference. And Jessica Burks-Wiley just holds up a hand. All right, that was a pretty frantic 90 seconds. Slow it down a little bit.
Set up some offense.
FIU still very much in control of this contest.
UTEP in a man-to-man.
Hayes around the world and down.
There's not very many people that can stop Hayes when she has her blinders on and able to take you off the dribble. Her one-on-one game has improved so much over Conference USA play.
The record holder at FIU in steals. Outlets. Beoso finishes. Panthers right back at it. ASINDE goes down. That might have been just enough movement to distract. Mentioned it off the top. This is the spotlight game in Conference USA, the only one happening today. That goes for Kalia. Middle Tennessee knocking off Liberty by 15. That is what has FIU.
For FIU, they're really putting on a clinic. And Tay Hayes, wow, putting on a dominant performance. But across the board, the Panthers are playing some excellent team basketball.
Tay's at 15 on 7 of 11 from the field, although she'll take a seat right now. And that is 10 across the timeline. That is difficult out of a timeout. And get out and running, never stop.
Hey, when you have that many steals, you're going to get 2-on-1 fast breaks, 3-on-2 fast breaks, and anytime Tay Hayes has the ball in her hands, she can break you down, create for herself or create for a teammate. And geez, everyone has been participating for the Panthers. It's been so fun to watch on offense.
Nice kick. Finding ASINDE, who finishes.
And that's been tremendous for the Miners, that Zita putting the team on her back and able to create off one-on-one, and then they're able to set up their 1-3-1 trapping defense, which always frustrates other opponents.
Just a junior, so she's lined up to take a huge role next year in what will be a more comfortable offseason in the Borderlands. This past year, Kevin Baker, who was the co-coach of the year in Conference USA, resigns in April, and all of a sudden UTEP needs a head basketball coach, and well, their winningest coach all time was an option. And so they go and bring back Keitha Adams, who rebuilds this roster as much as she can, but that's obviously a really, really challenging situation. And despite that, UTEP has 6 wins in this league.
Well, and 10 of the players on this Miners roster were new to UTEP. So
right.
Everyone was learning their chemistry, their role. They were also learning the coaches, let alone a new university and a new city. So this is a team still working on camaraderie, chemistry, their different, how do you play with each other, the system that Coach Adams wants to run. So this team can only keep getting better in this next offseason, Corey.
That was why it was so important to bring Jane ASINDE from Wichita. So you have somebody, obviously the talent speaks for itself, but somebody who can help her teammates and be that second coach on the floor, because she'd already been with Coach Adams and understands the expectations in this program.
And she's been such a leader with her play and then also off the court as well. As Coach Adams has said, she's just a tremendous person and leader off the basketball court as much as she is on, but UTEP also has 6 international players. So some of them are even new to the United States. So a lot of things, good things happening in El Paso for the minors program.
International experience, certainly a valuable resource. Including for ASINDE, who goes up with the right hand, a little bit too strong.
Nice ball movement by the Panthers.
And a foul underneath. Prenger causing a little more chaos right by the rim.
Take a look at that. All of our ESPN Plus refs out there.
Belloso trying to split 2 and does. Craftiness from Angena Belloso.
Excellent footwork there by Belloso.
Zita, again, just a little bit too fast. And that's one of those things, right, with a full off season and just comfort with her teammates. She'll know when to speed up and slow down just a bit.
You're getting a look here at Belloso, another up and under. We saw ASINDE do that quite a number of times in the first half. But Belloso able to do that as well against the taller defenders.
4th foul on Mari Petrie does not aid the cause for UTEP either.
That's tough for UTEP, but Coach Adams is going to let her play. Petrie is one of those players who is so smart, and she really impacts the game, and she's somebody that the Miners need on the court in this 3rd quarter.
She's had double-digit points 2 of the last 3, and points are what UTEP needs. Eileen Marquez has some points for the Panthers.
Marquez, anytime she drains that 3, she holds up that 3 symbol, so everyone here at the Ocean Bank Convocation Center knows. I mean, what great confidence she has had coming off the bench and making such a contribution to the Panther team in these last few games.
4 threes in her debut. Panther Nation knew exactly what to expect when Eileen Marquez has the ball in her hand.
And she finds her spots, and her teammates know where she's at. Again, huge basketball IQ for the Panther team.
That was straight up looking for shooting in the portal. Jessica Burks-Wiley and this staff bringing Marquez from Clarendon College. Panthers growing the lead here in the 3rd quarter, outscoring UTEP 15-10. And taking all their time. Screen rejected, and a foul on Jane ASINDE.
Marquez spotting up. Prenger sticking with the play and able to stay on that 3-point line. You know, you don't see her very often inside the 3-point line or cutting to the hoop. She knows her role to be spotted up and help her teammates out when they need that outlet pass.
Belloso's first free throw today missed. Her 2nd, however, straight in. Panthers have only taken 7 free throws in this game. UTEP's only taken 8. That is a pretty big difference from where both teams normally sit.
It's been such an up and down game. Both teams, whenever they have the opportunity, are pushing the momentum up the floor.
Battle underneath. Sal trying to win it back. Jump ball. Possession arrow takes us the other way. Mariama Sal, who played at New Mexico Junior College with Zita, bringing some of that additional chemistry. And another player, a junior, poised to help Coach Adams in year 2.
UTEP mixing up their defense for that full court press, and they are able to get that turnover.
And it right back. This is the end of the regular season for UTEP. It's a one-game weekend for them with the big cross-country trip. They will sit back and await their fate, which will in large part come down to FIU's next game against New Mexico State. That is what will go a huge way to shaping the 8-9. Sam Houston is the 9, the 8 TBD in the play-in game, if you will, the only Tuesday action in Huntsville at the Conference USA tournament. Belloso again. Top 3 in steals on this team for a reason. Prenger with the mismatch, takes advantage.
Well, you can't beat that positioning under the rim. And Belloso finds her teammate, pulls it out from that 2-on-1 fast break, gets some space, able to read that, and waits for her teammates. That's what's going to happen, is your teammates are running down the court, finding their own positioning, and Prenger could not have been closer to the rim and able to finish at the hoop.
Little exclamation point there in the third quarter for FIU. Cements a 9-0 run over 2.5 and a 19-2 run over about 6.5. The Panthers had all the answers, kicked by Belloso. And this fourth quarter will be a half coronation for a team that has put together its best season in over a decade. ASINDE doing all she can.
She has 22 with a quarter to go.
Career high 28. At the horn? Not this time. Still, FIU has plenty to celebrate. They pick up another 7 in the margin. Now a 30-point. Liberty will play Western, who they have already lost to this year, which puts FIU very much in line for a potential top 2 seed in Huntsville next week.
That's so exciting for FIU, and, you know, 1 quarter away from a 20-win season, Corey, which is remarkable for any program. But Coach Burks Wiley, it was the first time this week that the team started talking about it when they were 1 win away.
Jane ASINDE still doing her thing. FIU has not gone 20 wins in a little under 15 years. And this marks a true step forward for this program. And of course, they won't settle yet. They want to make some noise in Huntsville.
And when you say that it's been almost 15 years, I mean, that adds a lot of context of how hard it is to win 20 wins in a regular season. And then again, you still have 1 more on Saturday, and then the conference tournament ahead.
Right.
And for women's basketball, you have the NCAA tournament, you have the WNIT, and then you have the WBI, which is the Women's Basketball Invitational, which FIU went last year and was able to get 3rd place. But with their progress that they've had this year, an explosive season, I really see them being able to be in that NCAA or WNIT, depending how the postseason goes in Huntsville.
So much of it will come down to that. The tournament's continuing to grow in the women's game. There's a couple in that mid-group now, too, so there's a lot of options for FIU as far as the postseason goes. And they have their eyes on all of them right now. Mari Petrie playing with 4 fouls, hits her first free throw. The other element of it is 20 wins is impressive. FIU, with this result, will go to 11-4 in league play. 12-4 very much on the table, a team that FIU's already beaten once in New Mexico State. So that means 2 of your losses come to Middle, a top 25 team in America. And other than that, over the course of your entire conference calendar, you lost twice.
That's right. And I don't know if we mentioned that when we saw the standings, that Middle Tennessee is one of the best programs in the nation. It's been an excellent program for years. And that's why they're undefeated so far in Conference USA. Have just had such incredible tradition and will continue to do so in the years. But, hey, anything is possible when it comes down to March Madness and conference tournaments.
Henderson fouled. Saw the jersey stretch there. And by the way, those 2 losses came on that very last road trip. FIU didn't even pick those up until extremely late in the year. Whistles on Powell. Her first.
And when they talked to Coach Burks-Wiley earlier this week, she said, you know, it's a learning lesson. It's a good reality check, but we're going to battle no matter what. And she says, I don't believe in moral victories. It doesn't say wins, losses, moral victories. It's a win or a loss. You take your strategies, what you can learn and pick up for this week, and move forward. They were able to do that versus Western Kentucky. And this week, the name of the game that they were focused on was defense and rebounding. But guess what showed up is a heck of a lot of offense for FIU and really playing excellent defense and team basketball.
So FIU is +7 on the boards, and both coaches would have been the first ones to tell you, whoever wins the rebounding battle tonight is almost certainly going to win the game. That theory is definitely held up here in Miami. ASINDE fighting through traffic. Good box out, and it's Panther possession.
UTEP stays in this 1-3-1. It's caused a little bit of trouble for FIU, but they're able to cut through the middle. And guess who it is? Henderson finding that open space and knowing where to cut. It's almost like she's a wide receiver out there, knowing Hayes is a quarterback, and she's able to make her cut through the lane and always able to find, has a nose for the ball.
Had some early struggles, but is really locked in. The all-conference player last year, Kalia Henderson. That's what FIU's going to need with Huntsville right around the corner. Whistles on ASINDE, her third. She will be remaining in this game, independent of how many fouls she has. Prenger hits it. 5 in double figures for FIU, and her 5th game of the last 6 in which she has gone into double-digit points. The definition of a balanced scoring effort, Ann.
It really is, and if you look at the stat sheet, you have Bayosa with 7. Now Marquez with 8, so you still have another chance to get 7 players in double figures with 8 minutes to go, and that's what you call team basketball.
ASINDE loads up from 3. Good second chance. Stanton resets. ASINDE does have the one make from downtown, her 11th this year. Stanton has hers. Not a 37% shooter from there. She's comfy.
She's one of the best shooters from a long range, been a little bit quiet in this game, but she's only a freshman. She even earned Freshman of the Week honors twice so far for Conference USA. So she's got a bright future ahead of her in this minor uniform.
You can definitely see what UTEP is building. And they've struggled on the road. Most teams in this league have. It is very difficult to win on the road in Conference USA, period. FIU got a great taste of that over the course of this last road trip. And even though UTEP has certainly been challenged away from El Paso, neutral site is a different animal. And that's what they're going to lock in on Huntsville.
And when you get into that postseason tournament, you have a new energy, a new sense of this is a brand new season. And that's what a lot of those lower seeds end up, you know, really kind of vibing on. And what ends up happening is literally March Madness, where there's lots of different upsets. So it's anybody's game when it comes down to those conference tournaments.
That rebound by ASINDE puts her into a double-double. The best time of the year in basketball, and I would argue all of sports, as the month of March is here. Whistles on Lauren Stewart. And possession goes back to the Miners. ASINDE will, in all likelihood, have a game for her history books. Career high 28 against Middle Tennessee, the best team in this league. She's got 26 right now on an extremely efficient 10 of 14. The old cliche applies. You're not going to stop her. You can only hope to contain her. And FIU has done that.
And FIU's thrown a lot of different players at her, trying to guard her one-on-one, but up against Lauren Stewart, that is tough. And you just called it about her having another career night, and now she's going to get to the free throw line for one more.
So that ties it. Free throw make here, and she sets a new career high.
And one of the stories, Corey, we haven't even mentioned is that she only started playing basketball at 16 years old. She's based out of Uganda, and her older sister was playing on a team, and she said, I have a sister, and she's like, do you want to learn how to play? And the coach came up to ASINDE, and that's how she started playing. So her potential and her upside is only going to be brighter and brighter, especially as she enters that WNBA combine at the Final Four, which we talked to Coach Adams about. But pretty incredible stats and impressive play to only be playing since you've been 16 years old.
And she turned that late start into playing for her national team, a Ugandan superstar on the international level, which obviously comes with the experience. But one of the primary goals of the Ugandan national team is just spreading this game in Africa. That's a goal that you and Jane certainly both share, Ann.
It is. You know, in May of this last year, I was able to go to Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and be able to give back to players. And they were middle school age, high school age, and their passion for the game and their desire to get better, Corey, was literally the most impressive thing about all of it, being able to work with those kids. I mean, there was even one day when it was just a nonstop rain out monsoon, and guess what? All the kids still wanted to stay and play in the rain and still wanted to learn basketball, and their eyes were wide open anytime we taught them anything. So for the continent of Africa, the potential and upside is just absolutely astounding, and the game is growing bigger and bigger.
Final 5 here for FIU. And 5 minutes away from win number 20. Best year since 2011 for Jessica Burks-Wiley in just her 4th year at the helm of this program. A massive, massive step forward with still plenty to do.
So much more still can happen for this Panther team, especially when you're playing this spectacular of basketball at the right time. It's timing, it's chemistry, it's execution, it's attitude, and the Panthers have all of it going in their favor.
It's so interesting, too, when we caught up with Coach Burks-Wiley this week and dove into a little bit of reflection. Not a lot. So obviously, there's still a lot of basketball left to be played. But she said it was a tough sell to get a lot of these players here. You know, you look at your Hayes or your Trice, as that one goes from downtown, where you have to sell them on the vision and not the results on the court just yet because it wasn't there yet. But they all bought in. The transfers bought in, even after last year, where this team was still building. And now the result speaks for itself.
Bringing in Kone and Prenger to be able to see that vision. And that's so hard because usually in that second and third season, you have some of your toughest games and toughest records because you're really trying to adjust. Literally kind of what you're seeing here with UTEP in their very first year. And Coach Burks-Wiley was able to craft that vision and have everybody be able to see what that future could possibly look like, their contribution, their impact, and then also winning, because who doesn't want to play when you have great teammates and a winning attitude? So much to be able to see here for FIU and what's possible in this program.
Stewart in traffic will travel. A timeout called. Keith Adams, just a 30-second timeout. And these are important teaching moments for UTEP. Their season far from over. The regular.
The moment that's possible in Huntsville during that conference tournament. And credit Coach Adams and what she's being able to teach and learn the potential of this Miners team. And look at that. That's what you get out of a cool timeout.
Perfectly drawn up, perfectly executed. Zito will finish.
And look at her cheer him on. I love to see that when you call a timeout, you're down 30 with Marquez as like that three-point shooter, Maya Kone with the long shooting, being able to be an excellent defender for the Panthers. So you're trying to put in all the pieces together and have them show up at the right time, which is right now in March.
Get a side out of bounds play. Especially with no second game. This is the last chance to instill anything you want in a live rep here if you're UTEP. Just kind of one of the weird scheduling quirks of Conference USA this year. Going out west, there was a natural travel partner. So FIU, for example, plays UTEP and New Mexico State the same weekend. That doesn't quite work for the teams out west coming the other way. So it is a good idea. Let's just say, hey, it's a one-game weekend, which has some advantages and has some disadvantages for both UTEP and New Mexico State.
Yeah, I was just going to mention for New Mexico State, who FIU is playing here on Saturday, and that's going to be a senior day, so come join us for that excellent game. But UTEP and New Mexico State are only 49 miles apart, so that's what Corey is mentioning about how they kind of move in tandem during the scheduling opportunities, but FIU kind of lone. But hey, who doesn't want to come to the Sunshine State and hang out in the palm trees,
right.
Corey?
Aspen Salazar, a freshman for UTEP, is very much considered a local player, but her hometown is actually Las Cruces, New Mexico, where New Mexico State is. These two programs very, very much attached. So Salazar winds up choosing a conference foe of the Aggies. Meanwhile, FIU's natural traveling companion in years past was Florida Atlantic. But with conference realignment, that goes by the wayside, though those two teams will meet up on the baseball diamond this weekend.
Oh, okay.
We'll have that game for you right here on ESPN Plus Saturday night, the one here in Miami. It's a split series, two up in Boca, one here in 305. Good runner, and you're seeing UTEP settling in. And you're not going to overreact to anything here in this game, but you wanted UTEP to come out, show a bit of fight, and execute here in this final stretch.
You know, for both teams, you know, you have players that are getting some significant minutes off the bench for both UTEP and FIU, and you still want them to execute and play with all of the energy that they possibly can. And Corey, if I'm right, we have 6 players now for FIU in double figures with that Marquez three.
They went to halftime shooting 50% from the field. You knew that was going to come down because you don't really shoot 50% for a game, but not coming down by that much. They sit at 46% right now, 35% from three.
That's
going to win you a
hot
game.
Shooting right there.
That is going to get the job done. Doesn't matter who you play. Zita blocked by Courtney Turner. Another impact transfer. Hasn't played a ton this year for FIU, but has been really, really effective in limited minutes, and especially with some key front court pieces missing. Courtney Turner's going to have her games where she makes a huge difference.
She's one of those players that just always does the extra play, like makes that extra hustle play. Anytime Courtney Turner gets in the game, she is boxing out, she's rebounding, she does all those kind of Dennis Rodman type hustle plays, and that's what you love to see when you know you have other scorers on the floor. You just want players to be able to set those screens, get rebounds, and play tough defense. And that's what Courtney Turner can do for the Panthers.
Especially in the absence of Torres, who is the pinnacle of that glue player, a Dennis Rodman type for FIU. That certainly increases the burden on Turner, and as well the rest of this front court, particularly Prenger and Kone. They've done a really, really nice job of embracing the challenge. Every team has to deal with it at some point, and FIU is handling it quite well. Another strong take by Angena Beoso. That's 12 for Beoso, nearing her FIU high. Corner pocket three is good for Sal. Just her third make from downtown this year.
She doesn't shoot that many of them. She's more of a back to the basket, helps out with Wilson and ASINDE, but stepping out. That's what that's good for. That's going to build confidence for Sal and the Miners going forward.
Battling underneath, count it, and one for Lauren Stewart.
The crowd going crazy. She is a crowd favorite. Only a freshman, like you mentioned, gets usually limited minutes, but tonight she's been in here and making a lot of contributions, especially on her box outs, but then shows her offensive skills with a little up and under move, and now going for the and one.
It will not go. Lauren Stewart doing her thing, and that's how you know FIU did theirs. The best season for FIU women's basketball in over a decade. The 20-win FIU Panthers.